You don't need cable. Hop on YouTube, welcome to the hood table, where we chop up local and global events vocally. You don't really wanna miss out on these conversations. Just joke a little, laugh a little, get that wine in your system, fill your glass a little, expose current events, talk trash a little. You never know, these opinions might clash a little bit. Addicted to the content, got them binge watching. You don't like the thing you want to fight, your friends watching in the house and your job parking lot before you clock it. They don't wanna miss a second of this HD content. Everybody think they got something to say, so it's an open invitation, bring it to the table. But if you come whack, just know we ain't buying in. We gon' probably turn you back until you sorry, try again. Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Hood Table. Thanks for tuning in today. I have a special guest with me by the name of Theola Cooper, and she is a crime prevention specialist from the Omaha Police Department. And I want to let her introduce herself.
Well, you actually you just did it. No, thank you for having me on the Hood Table.
You are welcome.
I'm just, happy to be here to share information.
Thank you. And thank you for being here too, because it has been brought to my attention that a few issues that we have in the inner city and abroad is on the rise, and one of those things is straw purchasing. So what we're going to be doing today with Miss Theola Cooper from the OPD, Omaha Police Department, we're going to be discussing crime prevention basically. The title of the video is What You Won't Do for Love, and has to deal with a lot of times the things that some women do for guys which are illegal. They mainly do it out of love, even though it's illegal and it shouldn't be done at all. So we're going to talk about some of those things, including the straw purchasing, which is the purchasing of guns. So everybody come on in, make sure you hit the like button, share the live out. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Please and thank you so very much. Thank you. And again, thank you for joining us today.
No problem.
I appreciate it. First of all, I want you to just give them just a little bit of background about yourself and what you cover when you do like the video that I had seen the other day.
With the TED Talk.
Yes, that was really cool.
Thank you. So my not 9 to 5. It's more of a 7 to 3:30 Monday through Friday. I'm housed at the Northeast Precinct, located right off of 30th and Ames, next door to McDonald's. I am a crime prevention specialist, and I have been with the Omaha Police Department. Well, I left for 1 year, so probably about 9 years now.
9 years, wow. That's
and
a long time.
Yeah, it is. So crime prevention specialists, there's a crime prevention specialist at each precinct, and we serve as community liaisons with the Omaha Police Department. Okay. So it's not a sworn position. So we don't have to go to the academy or anything like that.
So it is a civilian position?
It's a civilian position, but we're still held to the same standards.
Same standards. Okay.
Right, as the Omaha Police Department, because people are just like, so can we complain against you? I was just like, yes, you can.
Oh, you can?
Oh,
wow.
Okay.
Yes, I ain't gonna make no complaints.
We can be investigated by internal affairs just like uniforms.
Wow. Okay.
So nobody's exempt for that.
Okay.
So this conversation came up with straw purchasing because of a post that I did, but also I did an educational component in October 2017. And straw purchasing, for people who don't know, is when when you buy a weapon for somebody who can't pass a background check. So it doesn't not necessarily your boyfriend or your girlfriend. Right. It can even be a family member. You know. So what started me doing this was because of a report that I saw where a young lady, she had purchased a weapon for her boyfriend, and not to be funny or anything, but I was just like, where has he been? Because he shot the gun, in city limits of Omaha, and Omaha has had ShotSpotter, and if people don't know what ShotSpotter is, it's our GPS system.
Now, did he actually shoot it at somebody?
No, he just shot it up in the air.
Oh wow!
Okay. So he shot the gun. He didn't use it in any crime.
Right. Okay.
But he shot the gun. Shot spotter was activated. So they pinpointed the exact location where the shots.
And those are pretty accurate.
Yes.
Yeah. That's pretty accurate.
Where the shots came from. And so they found the shell casings and stuff like that. So we fast forward, he was a felon in possession of the weapon. And then another thing too, I don't think the young lady understood that she was receiving Section 8 housing. So Omaha Housing Authority does partner with the Omaha Police Department in regards to helping, you know, crime down
So, like,
and their properties
they had to
and
call
stuff
them
like
or
that.
something? Or?
Well, it popped up what the address was, where it occurred. So when they saw that, it was just like the one strike rule, and a lot of people don't realize, it's a one strike rule.
So housing, like, so when they go out to a Section 8 house or OHA or something like that,
they don't know it's an OHA house or Section 8 house. So no, they don't. The people on the streets, they don't know that.
Okay.
But we actually meet with Omaha Housing Authority like every other month.
And do y'all like provide them? Like, how do housing find out right away that something happened at one of their
housing to find out? Like, there are people who listen to scanners and stuff like that, or they'll find out. They also let us know when things are going on at their property as well. Okay. So they have found out. So that's what I'm saying. It's a one strike rule. So first thing was, she bought a weapon for her boyfriend who's a felon. So he's not supposed to have a gun. Right. Okay. So then second thing was, boyfriend shoots the gun in the air, which causes shot spotter to be activated.
And even if he didn't use it at a crime, somebody could have got.
Somebody, because it's a projectile.
Yeah,
what comes, it's just that law. What goes up must come down. Right. So, OPD was activated.
Hey, Betty White.
OPD was activated and went to the house, saw the shell casings, found out he was there. And then, like I said, all these consequences started lining up.
Starting with her having that one strike.
And that one strike. So all these consequences, I started to tell people my angel on my shoulder is like it'd be like this. So what you gonna do, kiddies? And I say that because you can't really, to me, you can't be in the community and not realize that everybody doesn't know. Everybody doesn't know right from wrong. Everybody wasn't raised like you were. So you can't make those judgments. So I'm sitting here like, she didn't know that.
And that's what some people were saying on the Facebook post too. Like, what should people know? But some people don't.
People don't know. So, and then too, like I said, it's not necessarily your boyfriend or your girlfriend. It could be a family member. And people don't understand that with straw purchasing, that's a federal crime. Yeah, it's a federal crime. So not only did she purchase a weapon, it's a federal crime, but she ended up losing her housing due to the one strike rule, which makes you vulnerable to a slumlord.
And it's hard enough to get on housing. I've been on housing before, OHA, projects, Section 8. I didn't live in housing before. And those waiting lists, and then all the things that you have to do to qualify, and then to lose it over something so, I don't know.
That's all it took was, so I was just like, you know what? We need to educate the community about straw purchasing. So here straw purchasing is just the real quick version is, like I said, it's when you buy a weapon for somebody who can't pass a background check. Okay. It is a federal crime. Right. Okay. So, whoever might be in your ear may say, hey, if you buy this weapon from me, if you love me, you buy this weapon from me. And if you get caught, I'll come put some money in your books in York. But the reality is you're not going to be in York because it's a federal crime. Nebraska doesn't have federal prisons. Okay. So you'll end up in Minnesota, Missouri, Colorado. These are for women.
Or what's that other prison? So York is the only one that we have here
for women
locally, like nearby.
but it's not a federal prison. It's a state ran prison.
Okay.
So straw purchasing is a federal crime.
So if it was like drugs or guns or something like that, that would go to the federal.
Mm-hmm.
So they wouldn't be here locally. Okay.
No, they will not be here locally. So, and you know, you even hear stories of people who don't even want to make that hour drive to York. So what makes you think
it is far?
What makes you think, you know, it's past Lincoln. So,
yeah.
So what makes you think that they're going to come to Minnesota, Missouri, Colorado, Oklahoma to come, you know, visit you and put money on your books?
And especially, man, now women, y'all know. Y'all can be right downtown at the jail cell, and some of y'all men wouldn't come visit you and wouldn't put $1 on your books.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, things like that, people don't think it's an issue. Mm-hmm. I personally know someone who purchased a gun for their boyfriend some years ago, and he couldn't do it because he had a felony on his background. Mm-hmm. So she purchased it for him, and it was used in a crime. It was used in a burglary. Mm-hmm. They found out she purchased it for him. She ended up going to prison for like 5 or 6 years, and she had like 4 or 5 kids. Mm-hmm. Those kids ended up going, to live with other people while she was locked up in prison, all because she purchased a gun for him. And some women don't think about the consequences like you would think. They would know better. Like, why would you buy a gun for somebody who has a felony? Like, obviously they
just don't know. So that's what I'm saying. Judgment-free zone here.
Yeah.
Judgment-free zone. They don't know. So that's why, we have to educate.
Yeah, gotta educate.
So you have to educate the community about things that they don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then you have to ask yourself too, if somebody really loves you, no matter who it is, boyfriend, girlfriend, family member, why would they want to put you in jeopardy?
Right.
To
lose your housing,
or your kids, or anything else like that. Yeah. And I'm probably gonna tell my age, but I remember, growing up, and everybody knew somebody who did something. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
But back in the day, it was even a code that was just like, oh no, we know you're going to school. You don't need to be around
exactly.
this. You know what I mean?
They wouldn't be recruiting or just making people, do this for me, and this is a straight A student playing basketball.
Yeah. Or oh well, no, and not me. Being a parent, I was never put in that situation.
Right.
As a parent, but I'm just like, think about that. You say if she loves you. Well, what about if you love her?
Yeah.
What's she gonna do when you're gone? She's losing her housing,
her job,
her kids. She's gonna have to go through court and all the rest of this for her kids.
Yeah.
All of these things to take into place on, proving your love. And to me personally, I don't know how everybody else feels, but there shouldn't be parameters placed on, if you love me, you'll do this.
Right.
Or if you love, like it's a checklist or something. If you love me, you'll do this, and this. And that goes both ways. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And in the summertime, it's like, sometimes females, they, like when it comes to guys who are out there doing extracurricular activities, what do you think it is that attracts? Because some women, they might be doing things that they don't know what they're doing, but some women, they're like, oh, he's driving a flashy car. I know he's doing this, that, and the third. And sometimes, like when they get into those relationships, they feel like, oh, we in this relationship now, so I have to do certain things for him because this is what I accepted. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so I knew what he was doing then. So sometimes, do you think is that too? Like,
I think you may get used to that lifestyle, but then I always tell people, actually it was a guy who told me, and not a cop either, he was just like, you know what, do you want all that flashy stuff and you always have to look over your back?
Exactly. I don't want to.
You always got to be constantly on the lookout. Is the police department or the sheriff's department looking for you? If somebody looking for him because of what he's doing.
And they know where y'all stay.
And they know where y'all stay. They know where you work. They know where you hang out. Do you always want to have to be looking over your back all the time just to have some type of possession or somebody in your life? And like I said, not just men, somebody in your life that it's just like this goes away.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all of this ends. You know, criminal activity is criminal activity.
Yeah.
You know, all of this ends, so this is all fleeting. So would you want to jeopardize all of that? And then don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I understand, you know, companionship. This may have been the first person who actually took an interest in you. You know, maybe you didn't get that at home. And like I said, no judgment here.
And you in love.
And you, girl, you in
love.
You in love.
That good love.
You are so in love. You know, you so in love. Even your close friends are like, are you sure? I mean, because your real close friends will tell you, do you realize, you know, this is going on?
The friends don't tell you,
the
but
real friends will tell you.
They try not to be.
They try not to be in your business,
or, you know.
And they try, you know, but they sitting back like, not
Maggie,
sure.
Girl, you know you can lose your house, right? You know you can lose your kids,
right. And it's in okay, I might be wrong, but I'm sorry. Can nobody lay no pipe like that?
Girl.
My livelihood.
You can't cause me lose my job, my 401k. You know, no.
I'm sorry.
It ain't that good.
Because if you need something.
Ooh, child, you ain't lying though.
We in the library, so we have to be kind of quiet. So sorry.
But yeah, she ain't lying though. But it is true.
Yeah,
People
so
be
like
in
I said,
love.
you can get up to 10 years in prison. And like I said, once again,
and that's for a straw purchase, whether it was used in a crime or not. Wow,
up to 10 years. It's a Class C felony. It's a federal crime. $250,000 fine. And like I said, you will be in Minnesota, Missouri, Colorado, Oklahoma.
And that's kind of far from Omaha.
Very far.
I mean, yeah, I think Missouri is the closest, but still, that's still like 3-4 hour drive. And then the fact that you can get 10 years whether it's used in a crime or not, that's serious.
You bought that gun, you know, and actually there are some places like Fosno's, Cabela's know, because I did research on this locally and nationally. So locally, Cabela's know they have signs, not up, but they know when you're going in to buy a gun. Because when I went to, that's going to be straw purchase. Because when I went to talk to them about it, they were just like, the signs are, they said, okay, you work for the police department. And they were just like, do you own a weapon? And I said, no. But they said, usually if people don't own a weapon, they're bringing somebody in with them to help them pick out the weapon that, you know, like
that person
wants. You know, they're going through with them. And of course,
so they're kind of trained and they skilled in spotting out if this person's thing going for them.
Because pretty much what they said, one of the signs are when people come in just to take a picture of the display on the wall. Okay, then another sign is, you know, constant text messaging.
Right.
Because if you're really serious about a purchase, you know, like a lot of people say, like back in the day, you know, you take your father or somebody to help you buy a car. Same thing with the gun. If this is your first time buying a gun, either male or female, you know,
you're not gonna really know what you're doing. So you're gonna act like it too. Yeah.
You're gonna act like it, but you're gonna have somebody with you. And like I said, due to where I work at, if I want to buy one, all I have to do is just call somebody. Hey, I'm thinking about going. Can you meet me at Cabela's and we can look at this? And there's gonna be an expert there to explain it to you. So they know. They know.
Wow, that's interesting.
So it's a lot. It's a lot. And actually, you know, when Officer Roscoe, we're coming up on her 5th year anniversary of her being murdered in May of 2015. That weapon was straw purchased by the guy's girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
And it had
an
extended clip on it, and that weapon was traced back to Atlanta.
Wow. So the person who bought it was from Atlanta?
She can't really say that, but I'm just saying the weapon was traced back to Atlanta.
Okay.
Also, there's a couple of people, you know, I have a younger cousin. I don't know if you remember the Deja Strawn incident that happened in December. Well, I have a younger cousin who's still living with a bullet in her back. She was one of the people who was shot when the person killed her and her 2-year-old. So yes, she said
Yeah,
the
I
only way that
remember
he
that.
stopped was that she faked being
Faked
dead.
I remember that.
And then there's another young lady that I know. You know, she was pregnant with her child, and the child survived, but it was still, you know, an illegal weapon
Right.
that shot her while she was pregnant.
So it seems like a lot of these crimes are involved with illegally purchased guns, but it's not from like people just on the street just buying guns from just random people. It's actually people in their lives.
Right.
That's doing a lot of the purchasing.
And see, then two people think that, oh yeah, it's just somebody, you know, pulling up in the alley. I'm like, quit watching TV.
Yeah.
You know, pulling up in the alley talking about, hey, I got this weapon for you.
But see, I mean, before I realized the seriousness of this straw purchasing issue, I used to think that most people got their guns off the street. And I think it might have been that way long time ago. But since the police took so many, you know, the police is always taking guns off the street. So that would make sense that they using their girlfriends, their spouses, their family members to purchase these guns for them.
And then like I was telling you, this is why this is a nationwide crime, you know. And there's this one group outside in Massachusetts made up of women called Lipstick. Ladies and putting in to inner killing. Okay. So they actually did research as well, and I, you know, contacted them when I was first talking about this. They did research about once again, you're having your girlfriend, your significant other, your spouse purchase weapons for you, and this is the way how they get into our community that's killing us.
Killing us. And like I know this is no judge zone, but it is hard. It is hard sometimes to you know take all that in. That a lot of these women out here are purchasing these guns for their men. Like the first thing you have to think of is this for protection? Because if he needs that kind of protection, who's going to protect you? You know,
right?
And then it's like if he's not using it for protection, then what is he using it for? You know, and
so like I said, not necessarily just male, female.
Yeah,
it could be female, female, male, male. You know, anything that is putting you at risk.
Yeah.
Like I said, your livelihood, your housing, anything that is putting you at risk. You know, you have to stop and think. Like, really, do I really want to do this? You know, just to have companionship, or just to prove, you know, if you love me, you will do this. You know, I've even had, you know, cases where guy was a felon, and he told the young lady he kidnapped their child. Okay, so let's just say he kept the child from her, and said, if you love me, because the gun was found in his car. She's not a felon, he's a felon. You'll take the gun charge for me. And this is another thing I need to bring up to people too. When you have that baby and you're a single parent, you need to file right away for full custody.
Right.
Because people think, oh, it's automatic. If I go to the judge or whatever.
We were talking about that a while ago.
It's just like, I can prove, you know, this is my child. Well, the judge doesn't have paperwork. You're not married.
Right.
No, so she went through this. Let me see, April, May, June, July. It took her 4 months to get her baby back.
And see, we were just talking about this a little while ago on one of our shows, that a lot of people do think just because it might be a guy who's not paying his child support, not even coming to see the kid, and then the woman just automatically assumes I have full custody because I'm the one raising the kid and paying the bills and school lunches and all this, and then a guy comes and takes the baby and goes out of town or something. It's like in some cases it's not considered kidnapping. It's like because who has custody? Like, you know,
who has custody? You know, the only way that, you know, the custodial piece, you know, like when you're married, you're divorced, and you have all of that.
And it's then documented.
It's documented.
Right.
But if you're a single parent, you know, how do you prove? Outside of that, yes, everybody in your circle knows that child lives with you. Everybody in their circle knows, you know, you're paying.
And all the teachers know.
You're
the only one that
the only one there. but you have to take that time to document it because,
Yeah.
like I said, this scenario happened too, you know.
And how hard is it to document? Do you have to get a lawyer? Do you have to, like, if you're just the average single parent that, you know, might not have a lot of money, like, is it feasible?
Now that part, I'm still doing research on. I know the one young lady, I think the lawyer, because there are lawyers here in Omaha who will just walk you through the whole process, get it all done. But it was at least, I think in her case, it was at least $2,500.
Okay.
So I'm not sure, and I'll research and find that information for you. Like when you say, you know, when you go ahead to go file custody, as soon as that baby pops out, and you say, hey, if it's a boy, I want him circumcised, you need to leave the hospital, file for custody.
And I never thought about that. I mean, I've never been married. So as far as I'm concerned, I always say, if you ain't married, you single. I don't care what you're doing, but you're still single. And if you got a child and the father is not there 100% of the time, I'm like, hey, you single? But it never dawned on me to get something like that done.
Well, see, it's like I said, you always learn. Because even for me, being a single mom, you know, my son is grown. He's 30 years old. And his father lives in Chicago. And it was just like a gentleman's agreement. It was nothing on paper or whatever to say, hey, you know, he can come to Chicago for the summer. You know, to be honest, when you look back on that, I was just like, I had no paperwork. So what if he wanted him to stay in Chicago? You know, even though the teachers knew he went to school here, you know, and I was the only person that they saw here in Omaha. And I was just like, wow.
It could happen. And my son's been taken out of town, I don't know how many times by their fathers on trips. And you just don't even think about it. But then it could be one case where you in an argument and it gets heated and they like, oh, don't let it be about child support. Oh, I don't think I should be paying this much. And they just take that. And I've seen that happen before where somebody actually took a child out of town, like far away. Then they turned around, put them in school and everything in that state. And then they turned around and filed child support against the mother who was getting child support from the father. But they stopped it once they found out she hasn't had the kid. But she had been begging him to bring the kid back all that time. And she ended up paying child support. And the kid, she can't even see her kid.
Right.
It's horrible.
Right.
It's horrible.
So it's, like I said, it's things like that. And some of the other things too, and you know, I find out when I talk to especially our teenage girls, and that's where I brought some of the statutes and stuff as well. You know, I'm quite sure a lot of people have heard that there's been like pornography. You know, people don't want to admit it, but there has been pornographic films made in some of our high schools, right? And
some of the kids do not know the severity. They still don't know.
Because so you film it, okay, so and then you put it on all your social media stuff, right? Okay, if anybody was under the age of 18
and saw it,
you put it on your Facebook page. Oh man, I'm embarrassed, blah, 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 blah. You put it on your Facebook page. If that person is under the age of 18, you're now distributing child pornography. And even with the text and like, oh my God, I don't know how many times I told my sons when they were growing up in school, I'm like, if you send pictures of your privates, if a girl send you pictures, do y'all know that's pornography? He's like, but mom, how's it? We're not selling it. We're not. I mean, they didn't do it, but you know, it was always, I had to put it in their head that you can go to jail. Visual depiction of sexually explicit conduct.
Yeah, let me show y'all. Can y'all see?
Visual depiction. Yeah, because it's the second one. You might need to move it over a little bit. Yeah, up. Yeah. So if the person is less than 18 years of age, you know, it includes no person other than that person, you know, the recipient was at least 15 years of age at the time the visual depiction was sent.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, there you go. Now you see it. Visual depiction of sexual explicit conduct pornography.
Yeah.
That's it right there.
So, and then when those fights break out at like the West Roads, there's also failure to disperse. You know, when you participate in disorderly conduct with two or more persons, in the vicinity of it, outside of the location.
Like that big fight that happened at the mall like 3 months ago. We had a show on it because a lot of people was blaming the parents and a lot of people was blaming the kids. So we had people calling in on our live show, talking about it, like kids is gonna be kids, but they have to know that if you sitting around these fights and you get caught up and the police start making arrests, whether you're doing something or not, you're right to get arrested because you're there. You're participating. So
in our locations, and it says at any outside location after 1 and before 6 a.m. in the vicinity of or as a part of any group. It says being a part of any group that is creating a disturbance.
Oh, wow.
Obstructing law enforcement officer or firefighter. We see people who won't let the police department or the fire department do their jobs. And you're just like, I know my rights, I know this. You're obstructing.
Okay, let me ask you
now,
this.
Let me tell you.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, I know usually the main things that happen are like traffic stops, right? So I always tell people, really, and that's in any municipality around the United States.
Yeah.
The two most unknown calls are when officers respond to domestic violence and also traffic stops. Okay. So we'll go into traffic stops. So I always tell people, on the street is not the time to prove your case if the officer was wrong or right, or if you feel the officer was wrong. Okay. You don't, especially with Omaha, I can't speak of anybody else, but you don't have to get their badge number. You want me to tell you why? How we know that? Why? Because the cars are numbered. So like every car in Northeast starts with the 200.
So you can just write down their car number.
The car number and what time.
Okay.
And the location.
I didn't know that. I always thought, yeah, I want your badge number, because that's what most people do. Yeah. And that's what we see on TV too. I want your badge number, officer. Stuff like that.
You can say it was car number 254, 30th and Ames, 7 p.m. We know who's in cars 24/7 throughout the city.
Okay. Now I wanted to ask you a question about the obstructing law enforcement officer or firefighter. Okay, I seen this on a video, somebody here in Omaha, and they tagged me in it. And some officers had pulled over some guys, and I don't know why they put them over, but somebody had came out of the house nearby and was recorded. And they was asking the officers, officer, what you put them over? Why you put them over?
Well, you can't.
Stuff like that. And then the officers, I think they were trying to keep as calm as they could because they know they were being recorded.
Well, but we have body cams and car cams too. Everybody who's on the street, you see that little black box? That's a body cam.
So can people get in trouble for doing stuff like that? Because the person kept saying, I want my property. I ain't doing nothing right. What they do? Did they got drugs in their car? I mean, they kept
number one, because even when people tried to ask me, so we know this person got arrested. What they get arrested for? Okay. Yeah. Everybody has to go through due process. Right. So even though you're filming, it's none of your business what's going on. The thing is, you're obstructing. Let them do their job. Let them do that arrest. Okay. But no, all that unnecessary.
And I thought they were going to get arrested too. It had got so.
If they had gotten, it's really annoying. So I always tell people, let them do their job. Yeah. If there is a complaint, even when they were arresting those people, chances are it's a number on the side of that cruiser. Yeah. If you felt like something was going on, I even had to explain it here. It happened several years ago for somebody in the library. There, teen got arrested here, and then the person thinks that they're helping the teen out or whatever. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. So the officer came up to him and said, you know what? You're going to get a ticket for obstructing. Just let them do their job. Well, they didn't have this rights. They didn't have that. It was just like, I always tell people, quit watching court cases. Quit watching.
So in situations like that.
Quit watching reality TV. In situations like that.
If you think something wrong, just keep recording or just keep recording and be quiet. Okay.
That's all. Because you can bring that information to the ACLU. I mean, just different things like that. But everybody needs to keep a calm head. And like I said, traffic stops, people get really emotional about traffic. I know my rights. I know, the head, neck.
I definitely don't like it.
But even,
what I do.
But even, why would you cut somebody out?
Yeah.
Why would you spit in their face? people don't understand. They only see one side.
Right.
But, think about it. If you're in uniform, you're doing your job, somebody, I'm not talking just, I'm talking, you got bodily fluid.
I'll be like, that was assault. You are under arrest.
And actually, that is
I'm
assault.
like, gross. Nope, hands behind your back. That's nasty. That's like the worst thing you do. Somebody spit in their face. Ugh.
They spit on them. It's a lot of stuff that goes with law enforcement. And people say, well, if I was a cop, blah, 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 blah. Which lets me plug into this.
And she already knows that I used to want to be a cop. But see, I'm too old now. And the way my knees set up, I just can't.
But I always tell people, if you have any questions, we don't mind answering questions. If you actually have a complaint, there is a citizens review board. You can come here. We're here at the Washington Branch Library right now. That's why we had to calm down.
Yeah.
But you can even come here. You don't have to go to the precinct to get a report. You can get your report. You can fill it out. It doesn't come to us. It goes straight downtown to Internal Affairs.
Oh, wow.
So nobody knows. So nobody knows. So like when people say, well, I have even.
So it's really like where people can be not discreet, but they can be unidentified. Just like when you call in Crime Stoppers or something.
Right.
So, okay.
If you do, because everybody's human. There may be a time when you have to file a complaint or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, no, that goes straight downtown. So even if you come to the precinct to get a complaint, we don't take those. We tell you where to mail them to, and then it gets investigated. That person, the people who are investigating it, will contact you. Okay. We don't know nothing about it. It's just like once it's out of our hands, we're done.
Okay, all
we're
right.
done.
That's good to know. Like really good to know, because some people are sometimes hesitant to make a complaint because they don't want everybody knowing. They don't want.
And there's been times, if like I said. There's been times I've dropped them off at people's homes, in the envelope. You don't have to open the door to say, it's just like, hey, just tell me where you want me to drop it off. No, it's not like I really want to do that. Right. But, we really are, I would say law enforcement has really evolved from at least 30 years ago. It's more of a humanistic approach. It's more of we know working together, we can help our community. Right. We almost made it. The city of Omaha almost made it a whole year without an officer-involved shooting until New Year's Eve, 2019. There would have been no officer. Nice. There would have been no officer-involved shooting until the New Year's Eve incident that happened at Evans Tower.
Almost made it.
So that's what I'm saying. A lot of times people just need to know and get information locally. I know a lot of things happen with different municipalities. And of course, yes, I'm not going to say everything is a kumbaya moment. I know that. Like I said, we're people, we're human. But before you start, your protests and stuff or whatever like that, or before you start your Facebook posts and stuff, why don't you call somebody and find out exactly what's going on?
Okay.
Yeah.
Some good tips out here coming directly from the crime prevention specialist, y'all.
So,
but let's talk about these terroristic threats. A lot of people don't realize when they say certain things to certain people.
Well, when you say things, even if you text it, we're in technology now. Mm-hmm. So even when you send text messages, I'm gonna do blah 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 blah. All the person has to do is just show that. Look. You said this. This is a terrorist. Well, I was angry. You might want to think before it comes out of your mouth, or before you type it on social media, or before you send that text.
Or say it on YouTube to somebody, another YouTuber, because this kind of thing happens a lot in the YouTube world. The YouTubers will be going back and forth at each other. People don't think it goes down like that on YouTube, but it does. YouTube is just like a higher level of like Facebook or Instagram. And then it's just like you can't take it back. People say that, and it's on there, and people can see you saying that you're going to do such and such to a different YouTuber. Those are terroristic threats. And you can be arrested and lose your YouTube channel and all kind of things.
And actually here, terroristic threats is a class 3A felony here.
Oh, okay.
So it's a felony.
Yeah, that's a felony.
So like if you call the school, with a threat, so it's under C, in reckless disregard of the risk of causing such terror on evacuation. So if they have to evacuate because of a threat, or evacuation of building, facility, or public transportation, place of assembly, and also with the intent to terrorize another. That's a terroristic threat.
Yeah.
That's definitely a terroristic threat.
Yeah, definitely. Now, terroristic threats. Now, if you say like some people just might not know, but if you say you're just gonna beat somebody up or you're gonna whoop somebody's ASSS,
that's a threat.
That's a terroristic threat, right? I just want to make sure that we point that out there because I figured it was, but some people think it has to be something like I'm going to kill you, or I'm going to shoot them, or I'm going to stab them, or I'm going to blow something up.
You're threatening bodily harm to that person.
So if you're telling somebody,
so you're doing a terroristic threat, and then if you do it, then you got the assault charge.
Yep. And see these things, some of these things, like we said at the beginning, no judge zone, because some of people will not know, that the things they might be doing is a crime. Indeed a crime.
And when I talk to some of the young ladies, and I know the song is kind of old now, but with Jasmine Sullivan, I'll bust the windows off your car.
Oh, that used to be my that is a terrorist. No, I didn't. I just like the song. I didn't like the act. I like this. I would never bust anybody's windows out.
So you're looking at property damages, and depending on how much it is depending on what you're going to be charged with.
Yeah, that's destruction of property. I mean, I don't want nobody ever mess with my car, so I'm.
So then we see a lot of domestic assault, and I'm trying to think violation of protection orders.
Oh yeah, I was just looking at that. Down here, harassment protection order violation. I want to make sure they can see it.
I see the criminal mischief. That's what I'm talking about, destruction of property. So you damage the property of another intentionally or recklessly. You intentionally tamper with the property of another so as to endanger the person or property. Or you intentionally or maliciously cause another to surface pecuniary, that's property loss, by deception or threat.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Protection orders are very serious. Sometimes people think that they're not because, things have happened in the past where people are like, they had a protection order and people kept doing stuff, but they are very, very serious. And if you ever feel like you need one, you should go request one.
And you don't get it from the Omaha Police Department. You get the downtown at the courthouse through Douglas County.
Yep. So go right down to the courthouse because it's kind of like stuff might happen. We can't always control what happens to our lives, but if you really feel that somebody's, endangering your life or your children, get it. I would rather have it than not.
And then, like with the protection order too, it helps law enforcement able to enforce that order.
Right.
They see that they have the order and the person is, violating their protection order, then the police department can help, get that person away, get that person arrested.
Yep. And if anything goes down, they can say, they weren't supposed to be this so many feet of, it helps in court if something does happen, God forbid.
Yeah. Yeah. So we talked about resisting, criminal mischief, terroristic threats. You can't assault an officer, emergency responder, or even healthcare professionals. People actually go into the hospital and they have assaulted healthcare professionals.
Really?
Yes.
Now, what's usually the case for something like that happening? Because they're not getting service as quick as they should, or because
it varies. It varies. But if you assault a healthcare professional, I'm just like, this person is a person who's administering
aid to you. Yeah. This reminds me of that movie, John. Remember Denzel Washington when he went up in the hospital?
That was different. That was that whole insurance piece.
Yeah, the insurance
and all the rest of it. And I understand his plight.
I do too.
With the insurance ain't gonna pay for this. You gotta help save my baby.
I've been working here all these years.
And you're talking about I'm not insured.
Right.
And when it comes to your kids, what do you mean? You guys been deducting money from my check, every check.
Yeah.
Every check.
But so okay. But yeah, that I mean that goes along with the assault and battery as well. Domestic assault. Let's see, we covered pornography, obstructing law enforcement.
And actually, for domestic violence, a lot of people don't know this either. We actually have a group that is started by 2 retired Omaha Police Department employees called Men Against Domestic Violence Action Coalition.
Oh, okay.
So it's MADVAC. So with Bobby Brumfield.
Is that kind of like the old Mad Dads?
No, this is
totally different.
This is totally different.
Okay.
Because their main focus is to get men to think.
Okay.
Before you put your hands or do anything to her. So it's to get you to think. So like I said, it's Men Against Domestic Violence Action Coalition. Okay. And they've actually even had, because Bobby even told me he's actually even had people who have done time for that to say, I wish something like this was available. Because too, once again, I always say judgment free. You don't know what that person has seen in regards to how to treat people
and how they grew up
and
if their parents
or whoever raised them they think that's the norm,
think is normal. And a lot of women do too. Not only men, but a lot of women think it's supposed to be, they're supposed to receive that. No questions asked. And it's out of love. It's out of love.
And men, because actually one of the people who's one of the founders of that, not the 2 cops, but he'll share with you, he was a victim, and you don't think he would be.
And sometimes they don't want to come and say it either.
No, they don't want to say that they're a victim. They don't want to say it because they're just like, God, my masculinity, my this. But yes,
you let that woman hit you.
But men can be abused too.
Yeah.
So that's why I said Men Against Domestic Violence Action Coalition. They're available to counsel you, to talk to you, to give you your necessary steps. They're curriculum based.
Right.
So they let you know, how you're not supposed to put your hands on whoever, because you have same sex domestic violence too.
Right.
So yeah,
we gotta keep that in mind as women out there. And I know somebody had told me one time, they was like, man, y'all can imagine you would think that with people that might be gay or lesbian or whatnot in same-sex relationships, they don't think that sometimes they can battle and fight each other just like
just like
heterosexual couples. But I'll be like, well, hold up now, ain't these 2 women? I mean, women supposed to know what women need and all this kind of stuff, and they up there fighting like men, and it happens. It happens.
It definitely happens. It happens.
Gender definitely goes out the door when it comes to
definitely goes out the door when it comes to domestic violence or anything. Never say it just because it's same sex or whatever, that they're not doing the same things that, was considered heterosexual or different gender, transgender, or anything like that. Yeah. Criminal activity happens no matter where. And that's one of the things when I was on The Boss a couple of months ago, I was just like, people need to get out of
I like The Boss.
Out of the assumption that criminal activity only happens,
with men and women,
Well, or criminal activity only happens east of 72nd Street. I was just like, did I not say
and that's like, I hate that. Like, come on now.
It happens throughout this whole city.
Right.
Throughout the whole city.
The whole city, West Omaha, South, North.
Yes, it happens no matter where you live, there's criminal activity. And like I said, we're here to help you to do some things so that you're not a victim of criminal activity. During the wintertime, we can't overemphasize enough, don't leave your cars running. Even if people don't know, the person who's going to steal your car doesn't know it's a key fob and it's going to automatically turn off. So then now you're incurring damage because somebody has already punched out the window to get the car because you left it running. Even just recently, somebody reported their car being stolen. Now they left the keys in the car. Right. So usually throughout the whole winter,
I'll never understand why people do that.
Quit. Stop it. Don't.
And you know what? That's funny you brought that up because just yesterday, I don't know if you saw, but on Facebook, I posted yesterday, I took my son to buy a car, my oldest one, and I had to put his there. But when we were at the car lot, he got a remote starter. So I was like, oh, I'm jealous because mine, I need a remote starter. But anyway, the dude, I was telling him, make sure, you even if you got the remote starter, you keep your eye on your car if you in the window of your house or whatever. Right. And the car dealer was like, oh, they can't steal his seat, and he jumps in the car and he tries to move the gear, and the gear didn't move. Nothing happened. Like still, somebody can still think, like you just said,
Mhm.
they don't know that it's a remote start. They
Mhm.
might think you just got, they can jump in it, knock the window out, and take off. So you still have to keep your eyes on your car. And stop leaving kids in the car,
Please. Please.
Now,
Please.
I'm going to judge you on that. We ain't judged you all show, but I'm going to judge you on that. Because I'm so tired of seeing kids left in the car in the summertime and dying for no reason.
Right.
No reason. And I see it from time to time, and there's been times when I've seen it. I'm like, I know I should report it. She caught a cop, and I'll just sit there. And I'll sit there in my car and I'll watch and see how long.
It takes
and then they'll come out and I'll leave. I've done that, and I know I probably should call. I have done that before though, but that was with a dog. Somebody had left it was over 100 degrees and they left their dog in the car.
Oh yeah.
And it wasn't like detrimental hot where I'm like, oh, this child's gonna die. It was like a child who was probably like 8 and another little one. And I just sat there and I was like, some people was like, you should have called the cops. I'm like,
because stuff could have happened. What if you never know?
I
You never know. And I know you try to give people the benefit
Yeah.
of the doubt. You really do, but you never know. That's child endangerment.
yeah, you never know. And you know what? Oh, and I hope if this lady is watching, no judgment.
Mm-hmm.
But I had ordered, food deliveries.
Like Grubhub or
Yeah,
something.
Grubhub or something like that. I ordered breakfast one day. I was working from home, didn't have no breakfast. Ordered. And when I went to the door, you can't believe what I saw. It was a lady had came to the door to bring me my food. Now it took me a minute. I'm up there like, hold on. It took me a minute to get to the door. But while I was doing that, she had her car in the middle of the street with the car door wide open and 2 little kids sitting in the car.
Mm-mm.
The car door was wide open. I could see the kids inside the car, their feet kicking and everything. And she left the car door open.
Mm-mm.
I'm like, you could at least shut the car door. And she jumped right in the car. The car was running and everything. And she ran and jumped right back in the car. I'm like,
many things could have happened.
in those few seconds, it took me a minute to get to the door.
There was a video of a gas station robbery, a vehicle getting robbed from a gas station.
Mm-hmm.
It was just that quick. Guy left his truck running. Now I'm not gonna say where the gas station was, but let the truck running.
If it was recent, I remember I saw it on the news.
Woman just politely came in. He's still in the store, and she just took off. And he tried to run after. Once the vehicle gets in motion, you can't catch.
And they don't always know there's children in the car. That's the thing. When people are still in car, they ain't in there looking around. They trying to hurry up and get in the car and leave.
Mm-hmm. Left the car running.
So I was like, then it hit me. I'm like, I wonder how many times have this lady done this food delivery driver driving out with her kids.
Somebody might have
in the
recorded
car
her though, because like I'm saying, people look at that and they're just like, like I said, you leave. You that's child endangerment. You knowingly left that door open with the keys in the car, with these kids in the car. Mm-hmm. So that's child endangerment.
I just thought that was so crazy.
So I just have to give a plug. So
yes,
if anybody wants to join the Omaha Police Department,
yes, they are recruiting.
We are recruiting.
Can I see it? Okay.
I don't know.
Yep. They can see it. Okay, Thursday, March 12th.
Behind the Badge recruiting event right at the Northeast Precinct, 4316 North 30th Street. So you get to learn about career opportunities. Human resources and the police officers are there to answer your questions. OPD is accepting applications through March 19th. You get to, find out the hiring process, what it takes to become an Omaha police officer, and find out what to expect in the academy. So, so for people who say, hey, they're only doing recruitment fairs and not doing any recruiting in the community, I don't know how close we can get. Right here next to McDonald's.
If y'all want to serve y'all community,
definitely,
and y'all want to help enforce the law and protect your community,
this is an opportunity.
Come down. Thursday, March 12th at 7 p.m. at the Northeast Precinct, which is 4316 North 30th Street, right next to the McDonald's. Y'all know where that is.
Because people who drive by, then they'll call me, how do we know you at work? We don't see no cars out front. I was just like, we park in the back. And he was like, oh, okay, how do we know? You know, I was just like, is Theola at work today? You work, yeah, I'm at work.
You know what? The police station, I know it hasn't been there forever, but I really don't even remember what used to be there before.
I don't either, because it's been there since
I've been
like
trying to think.
95.
It's been a minute. I'm like, I can't remember. I know something used to be there next to that McDonald's, but I can't remember. But anyway.
But people just like, oh, we didn't even know you guys were open. No cars. It's like, no, we park in the back.
And that makes sense because I drove by there times before too. And I'm like, there ain't nobody up in there. It'd be like one car in the front.
Because that's the person who's working the front desk. So yeah.
They be in the back, y'all. They be in the back. They be in the back.
We park in the back. You'll see us, driving. Let me see if you come like where the back of McDonald's is. What is that? 31st. So yeah, we jet through that way on the 31st and Taylor. So that's where we park. And then also, I'm partnering because I'm part of the Coalition on Human Trafficking. We're also hosting an event called Help Me, and it's a training for churches to end human trafficking.
Oh, cool.
Now, the reason why I got involved is because the Women's Fund of Omaha had a study done in regards to human trafficking for the state of Nebraska. So I got involved because the stats showed of the 900 monthly contacts, 900 monthly contacts, 675 of those happen in Omaha.
Oh, wow.
And it gets for me, once again, like I said, it's that little thing on my shoulder. I was just like, half of those are African American, half of those are people of color.
We get how many trafficking calls?
Okay, so it's 900 contacts a month.
Just for the police department?
No, this is for the state of Nebraska.
The state of Nebraska.
900 human trafficking events that happen. 675 of those happen in Omaha. Okay, and of that number, half of those are people of color. So we don't know that our community is being trafficked as well.
I didn't realize the number was that high.
It's that high. And then it even increases more, when we have the major events like the swim tryout. Now this year we're doing the Major League Baseball piece. Mm-hmm. When we do the swim trials, Major League Baseball, College World Series, and even
that's like that where it increases the sex trafficking?
That's where it really increases, yes.
Okay, and that's just because there's more people in town to...
Well, Interstate 80, along with knowing drugs, Nebraska's right in the middle of the country. Mm-hmm. So you have that east-west traffic for drug trafficking, but also for human trafficking, too.
And nobody ever really thinks of human trafficking being some people do. I'm not going to say nobody, but a lot of people don't think that it affects
African Americans. Yes, it does.
Right, and I had actually seen on Facebook, somebody had posted something, and it was like so many million of Black women who are missing across the United States. And I looked at that number, and I was like, how are these people disappearing?
It even gets worse with the reservations with Native American women, too.
Wow.
So, yeah. So one of the things I do it's a free training, and lunch will be provided on March 19th.
I wouldn't mind going to that.
You have to advance register so you can get lunch.
52nd and Ames. Okay.
Yeah. Hall for boys.
Oh yeah, I know where that is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would not mind going to that. And so you guys, this is a free training, like you said.
Free. It's free.
And it's open to churches or organizations interested in learning what they can do to help end trafficking. And it's a collaboration between the Coalition on Human Trafficking, the Interdenominational Ministerial Alliance, New Era Baptist State Convention of Nebraska, the Nebraska Sinai ELCA, and the Empowerment Network. Register today.
It's free.
So I'm a register, y'all. So if y'all want to register too, call 402-502-5153. And again, it's March 19th, 11 to 2 p.m. at the Village Empowerment Center 5190 Sprague Plaza, Omaha, Nebraska.
So it's the Omaha Home for Boys Wordman Learning Center. So if you've been there for trainings or something like that before, that's what it is. So you can go to the Empowerment Network's website at www.empoweromaha.com for that as well. So yeah, because like I said, once I read the information, because I was like, human trafficking, to they realize the impact that it has on our African American.
I mean, just for our state alone, 675 out of 900 calls. Out of 900 contacts, 675
are right here in Omaha, and half of those are people of color.
That's crazy.
So it's a multi-agency effort too, with Douglas County, Omaha Police Department, Nebraska State Patrol. Everybody had, people have been on trainings. Even the Attorney General was pushing to make this more like you blame the person who's soliciting, who are the traffickers,
right? Versus,
because it used to be back in the day, you automatically locked up the prostitutes too,
right?
Not realizing that
because sometimes they're not being, they didn't think back then they were forced most of the time. It was like, oh, they're out there, they just trying to get money.
No. You don't understand. And then two, what the study also showed is the average age that somebody is trafficked starts at 14.
Too young.
Starts at 14. So, and it's still like the same coercion, you like this punch, you like this, and they use their peers. There's a lot of times you can go back and look at stories like Channel 7 had did last summer. It's not necessarily, a lot of people say, oh, it's at the hotels off 108th and L. Well, what about the guy who was trafficking 2 women, and it was like in the neighborhood, in the house.
Yeah.
Just right there.
Yeah.
So it's not always the super huge ones that you think about, but it can happen anywhere.
Yep. And I remember when we did an interview with a lady from Texas. It was just about 3 months ago. And she's from Omaha, but she lives in Texas now. Mm-hmm. And she goes around doing training and seminars on sex trafficking and in the African American community. And I had asked her because I didn't know, and I was like, where do they normally keep these? Like, in the movies, you think it's like in this big old building or this, No. She was like, it could be right next door. It could be in a hotel. It could be, you see a lot of traffic going in, a lot of young girls going in and out of a home or something. They keep them anywhere. And sometimes might have them tied up, drugged up inside a house right next door to you, and you wouldn't even know.
You wouldn't even know it.
So
yeah, we don't have to depend on Texas.
Definitely
we got a coalition right here.
I'm definitely gonna
that is educating the community about what to look for, signs that regards to human trafficking.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I really am.
So yeah.
All right. Well, sure. Did we cover everything we wanted to cover with the people? Thank you again for coming.
And like I said, if you have any, sometimes if something else comes up and you want to, find out how you can engage the Omaha Police Department, or, and another thing too, we also have each precinct has precinct advisory committees.
Okay.
And so the meeting for Northeast is, let me make sure, because I think it's Tuesday, March 24th.
Okay.
So I'll pull it. Look, I should have my phone up.
It's okay. It's okay.
And this is an opportunity for it's a two-way conversation. You find out, latest crime trends in the area. We find out what's going on with you, what's going on in your area. And I usually say, their PAC councils, precinct advisory committees, are made up of people who, live, work, or worship in the area that we serve. So they're open to the public, but I have to have RSVPs because we did provide lunch.
Yeah.
So,
and everybody, some people are kind of weary of approaching people who works at the police station. Don't be afraid. If you need anything, if you have questions, the only way you can find out, especially if it's something to deal with law enforcement or the community or a situation that you have, there's a lot of contacts at the police department, and one of them right here is Miss Theola.
All right. So like I said, the PAC meeting, yes, it will be Tuesday, March 24th from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Okay.
But I need you to RSVP so I can make sure I have enough food. So my work number is 402-444-3367. Or you can email me and I'll spell it because some people, I'm just like, it's just spelled how it's pronounced.
I know.
But it's Theola, THEOLA.Cooper at cityofomaha.org to RSVP. So since it's on the 24th, I usually like to get the RSVPs in by that Friday.
Okay.
So then I can plan accordingly to make sure. So that would be like by Friday the 20th.
Okay, and this one right here, does this one have a deadline for the trafficking training?
We just say, just please register because the Department Network is taking the registrations.
Okay.
So they're saying just please register as soon as possible. As soon as you can, because once the auditorium fills up, that's it. So so it's not going to be in a classroom. Okay. It's going to be in the auditorium. So people are familiar with the Omaha Home for Boys Wordman Learning Center. They call it the Empowerment Center because actually 2 entities are now in that building. So there's the University of Nebraska Medical Center for Reducing Health Disparities is in the building. And the Empowerment Network also has offices in the building too. Okay. So, and here's another plug for Pastor Jonathan Chapman. Church on Purpose is there. No, I'm not a member there.
I've heard of that church.
But it's in the same building.
Oh, and you know what? I'm telling you, I was wondering because I had seen somebody posted something about the Church on Purpose and it said 50 seconds. It said that location.
Yeah, so it's 51.
Oh, there ain't no churches over there.
It's inside that building too.
Okay, now I know.
So now you know.
Because I sure was thinking, I'm like, I know such and such right there, grocery store over there.
Omaha Home for Boys.
Ain't no
church over there.
Yeah, ain't no church over there. The apartments is across the street.
Right.
Okay, now I know it's inside.
So that's where that is. So but yeah, we, like I said, the more you know, and don't be afraid. I've actually had people who, I will always be an advocate for our community because people don't understand. You have unsung heroes. We have unsung heroes who will call to give tips. They don't necessarily want the Crime Stopper money. They just want crime to stop in their area because contrary to popular belief, everybody don't want to leave North Omaha. Right. You got your home here. You got family here. You got nice parks because
I love North Omaha. Yes. It's really nice. So, we be having our picnics over there too sometimes for the proud to be.
Right. So it's just, and I always have to give a shout out because even when, I'm always having to dispel the myth that, I had to shut down this one lady before at a meeting because I'll meet all over the city, right? Mm-hmm. So, she's like, ooh, you work in North Omaha? And I'm like, yeah. She said, for the police department? And I'm just like, yeah. Well, you're not a cop? No. Well, how do you get to work? I said, I get in my Jeep and I drive to work.
How you get to work?
She's just like, so you're not Uber. It was just like, so when you go to work, I said, what about when I go to work? So you're not scared? Scared of what? Scared of what? I mean, and then I remember too, I even had, I had a person call because there's always that big Prospect cemetery cleanup in the spring. There are people who come. So, and it wasn't anybody from that group. It was somebody who thought she wanted to volunteer to help. So she calls me and she's just like, so I want to help with the Prospect cemetery cleanup. Okay, sure, fine. It's on this day at this time. Mm-hmm. Are you guys going to have a cruiser there? No. There's no cruiser to help with the cemetery. At the cemetery. There's no cruiser there, sweetie. So if you don't feel that you know, you're safe. But then
if you're not safe around the spirits.
But then it doesn't just happen there. I was at another meeting, actually a luncheon last year, and it was at the Marriott in the Capital District. So this lady sees me
right downtown.
Right downtown. This lady sees me. She sees me get out the car, and she said, "Oh, you're walking like you know where you're going." I said, "Well, yes, you know, in the Marriott. This is parking at the Marriott." And she was just like, "Yeah, because I very seldom come east of 72nd Street." And I was just like, "You know what? You are missing so much.
It's a lot
It's a lot going on. We have stuff on 30th Street,
businesses,
24th Street,
beautiful homes. I mean,
beautiful homes. You have stuff going on in Midtown and downtown,
and they're building everywhere.
District. So you know you miss out when you say, "I'm not going east of 70th."
They are definitely doing a lot
east of 72nd Street. And I was just like, "Okay, you're lost, but hey, yeah, this is how we get into the building."
It's a lot going on. Matter of fact, I was driving by.
You know about the dining room at 75 North, right?
Oh yeah, yep.
So you know you can even go into the dining
That's
room.
where
Big Mama's,
yeah,
Pico's Pizza.
And they got the coffee.
They got the coffee shop there. You know, you can even go in there on Thursdays for jazz.
Yeah.
Get you know, happy hour Thursdays.
Right off of 30th Street. And the new construction is crazy. Every time, like on Cummings Street, I don't know what it is they're building, but I know it's an apartment complex because it has like, I can see the patios all around the building. Yeah. But whatever it is, it was like a gray color building, maybe 6-7 floors.
Okay.
And I mean, like everywhere I turn, there's just new construction everywhere. Condos, apartments, townhomes, homes.
Now, that's another show though, because regular people like you and I who work can't afford to be in those. So that's another.
I would say right in my hood.
That's another show.
I would say right in my hood.
That's another show. And actually, there's an effort.
My coins matter.
Right. There's an effort because actually, I guess it's a trend, unfortunately, nationwide that are squeezing
the downtown.
Squeezing the middle income people out from being able to afford. Yep. You know, we want to live in nice places too. And yes, just because I make a little bit more and I don't qualify for this end, that doesn't mean that I want to be spending a grandiose amount this month. Because then it's just like, I'm not going to be able to even enjoy all the amenities because I'm working a part-time job to pay to live there so that I can be exposed to those amenities.
I'm trying to downsize now.
That's another one. But yeah, I'm
trying to downsize right now. Like.
So that's what I tell people too. Yeah, it's so much. You know, I get hit with questions all the time. It's a lot. But like I said, I thank you for the opportunity to be here. And you know, if people got information, that's what it's about. And I just want to let people know.
That's all it's about. Like the title says, what you won't do for love. We discussed a lot of things that some people do out of love that they might not necessarily know is wrong, and a lot of different other crime prevention topics. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show and learned something and use this information for those of y'all who have children. For those of y'all who have children, this is some great information that you can discuss with children, especially about that mall incident that happened a couple of months ago, the disorderly conduct, children being arrested for just being in the vicinity. Sometimes you nor your child might know that is wrong. Either alert help or get away from the situation. You know, just get away. But yeah, so thank you again for tuning in. I appreciate it.
I can't wait to order that strawberry cake.
Oh, child, you're gonna be in love with me after you try that cake.
Thank you.
But yes, so everybody again, make sure you like the video, share the video if you like, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and as usual, in the meantime and in between time, stay safe, be blessed, and we're out. Deuces. Have a good day.